reflect those of station staff, management, and advertisers.
All right, what's going on, everybody? A very happy Thursday. Thank you so much for being here on Pushing the Limits. Another very busy news day. It seems like I say that every single day. Hey, I appreciate everybody being here. Of course, on the YouTube Super Chat, we're everywhere. KSHP AM FM dial, my personal YouTube page at PTL Radio Show, the Really American Network, which we're so happy to be a part of. We've been a part of their network for the last few weeks, and we certainly appreciate being a part of what they are doing. We're all over the place. TikTok, Twitch, you name it, we're there. And as I mentioned, we do have a lot to get to today and a lot to talk about. Remember, we're also in the YouTube Super Chat where your questions and comments can be heard. And again, the website, pushingthelimits.live. So there's a lot to talk about today, and there's a lot of conspiracy theories that we've been hearing from the far right for a very long time, whether we talk about Pizzagate or the vaccines. We could be talking about the 2020 election, but Donald Trump can't possibly be a sex trafficker. We're going to get to that in much more. And what better person to talk about this than my good friend Ryan Shedd, very popular left podcaster out there. Ryan, I am so happy to have you back on the program, my fan. It's good to see you. How are you?
I'm doing good, brother. It's happy to be back. Like you said, there's so much to talk about every day that, you have to keep bringing me back.
There is a lot to talk about. That is for sure, Ryan. I don't even know where to begin here.
I know.
But, I want to start with this because it seems like almost everybody in the Trump administration, when something goes wrong, it could be the FAA and all these near collisions in the air. We could be talking about inflation. We could be talking about the economy in general, where Donald Trump is saying all prices are going down. We know that's a lie. The latest report, inflation is going the other direction. They always blame Joe Biden, Barack Obama, and Democrats for everything. And it's not. When is this going to end?
Well, it's not, because it continues to work, right? So they're never going to stop if it keeps working. And that really is the bottom line of all of this, is if we as Americans stand up and go, enough is enough, it would stop. It really would. And I've been talking about this lately. For those of us who are around, old enough to really fathom what was going on September 11th, those months and even year after, I had never seen our country come together like that. Like, it really didn't seem like it mattered if you were black, white, woman, LGBTQ. Nobody cared. It was all about America. And to me, we may not have planes flying into buildings, but we are definitely dealing with some domestic terrorism, and we need to get serious about it. And that's really, from where I'm sitting, that's all it is. They're ripping up the Rose Garden and paving in a parking lot because Trump and his goons just have to erase everything in American history that doesn't have something to do with them.
Yeah.
And it's just, right. It's unfathomable at this point.
You're right. I don't disagree with you. And you had, we're going to play this audio later, but Sean Duffy blaming all these aircraft near misses they've had really since Donald Trump took office. Right.
Yeah.
And they're blaming it on Pete Buttigieg. And, I'm playing audio from, I just think she's a despicable liar, Faulkner on Fox News. And, she's talking about all the crime and blaming Democrats for all the crime in this country, when you have a panelist on her show actually giving the stats that murder crime rates and serious crime is higher in red states than blue states. And her response to that is, well, that's just a nuanced statistic. I mean, how do people even watch Fox News anymore, Ryan? I guess that's my question.
Well, again, that's why it keeps working, because they keep tuning into the channels that push out the propaganda that they want to hear. It really is insane what we're watching. There's no rational explanation that a stop hasn't been put to this yet. I mean, guys, yeah. It's serious. We were just talking last night about we have religion now can be pushed in federal workplaces. Like, please go read up on that. It is scary what they're trying to allow in the workplace. Like, we are headed in a really, really bad direction.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that are feeling it, Ryan, not just people like you and me who have to talk about these issues every day. There's a lot of people that are struggling. It's interesting. I was speaking to somebody higher up, actually, yesterday in the Joe Biden administration. We were having a private conversation on the phone, and he was asking me about Las Vegas. He's somebody that lives back east, worked for Joe Biden, and I was giving him the statistics of the tourism here and how people are struggling, and people, it's like a ghost town here compared to where we were at a few years ago, even after COVID. And I'm not going to sit here and say that's all on Donald Trump, but in the last 6 months, if you look at the polling, 61% of people, I think this was a Fox News poll, do not agree with the way Donald Trump is handling the economy right now, specifically tariffs. And Donald Trump and his administration are making it sound like everything is dandy and everything is great and everything is going well. There are a lot of people that are losing their jobs. There are a lot of people that are struggling, as you know, living paycheck to paycheck. They're worried they're going to lose their health care. They're going to lose food stamps. And there's a lot of businesses. And I can speak from my own experience. Places that I used to go to. There's a local place here called Vamped. I used to see a lot of concerts here, and my producer did as well. They had to close down. I know Lindsey Graham will be very disappointed to know that the show Chippendales has, it's not funny, but I mean, Chippendales has shut down here in Las Vegas. I mean, it's like, this isn't just by accident. This is everything.
Design.
Yeah. And everything they said, well, it wouldn't have happened if Donald Trump was president. Well, you know what? Maybe a lot of this stuff wouldn't be happening if Joe Biden was still in office.
Well, I agree with that last sentiment. The graphs, for those of us who actually like data, prove it. We were coming out of COVID and this horrible economic reaction that happened because of it. And we were doing okay. I'm not saying it was great, but we were doing okay, especially compared to other countries. And it's like, you couldn't get people to understand that. It's like, well, I don't want to be compared to another country. It's like, my point is that everybody is facing the same problem. It's not just us. So if it was Joe Biden's fault, if it was Democrats' fault, it would only be here in the United States that we were seeing these problems. But that wasn't the case. And now you put somebody in charge who is a prolific business fraud, and we're finding out that he really is bad at business. The only thing he's good at is bullying. And for those of you who maybe didn't go to school, bullies always get theirs in the end. So we're allowing this to happen, and we're the ones that are going to feel this when the other countries decide to start pounding back on Donald Trump and his regime. Yeah. That's just a fact. Yeah. So, the numbers are not looking great. The GDP came out at 3%, but the context of that matters. The reason it was at 3% was because a lot of businesses, especially small businesses, were ordering as much materials and products as they could because they knew that the tariffs were coming. So it made the economy look better than it really was. What it was panic buying by businesses because they wanted to save as much money up front as they could without paying tariffs on as much materials as they could financially buy and keep on hand. So that was what was happening and why those numbers came out the way that it was. Inflation is going to go up. Like it's already starting to tick up. So again, if it was Joe Biden's fault, why was it going down? And then all of a sudden Trump comes in and starts going up. And oh, by the way, hope you don't mind, is those tariffs that Trump was putting on Mexico, yeah, he just paused those again for another 90 days. And remember, go back to my social media. I said I'm posting this here now for 90 days from now for when Trump backs off and gives them another 90 days because they didn't do what he wanted them to do.
Yeah, what a shocker. Taco Trump at it again. If you're just joining us, he is Ryan Shedd, very popular left-leaning podcaster and friend, and he's got a new show that's starting up, so we'll talk about that here in a little bit. All right, let's bring up the story that is not going away, even though many in the MAGA cult, those like Donald Trump, want it to go away. That is Jeffrey Epstein and the Jeffrey Epstein files. So I find this very interesting, Ryan, because I put up something on social media today about this. This is the group of people, like the Jack Posobiec's of the world, who's a clown, who started the whole Pizzagate controversy with Hillary Clinton. These are the same people, many of them, who still think Donald Trump won the 2020 election. These are the same people who started the lies about Paul Pelosi and that horrific attack. You remember New Orleans, they said it was an illegal immigrant that committed that horrific crime. But yet, we're the ones that are unreasonable, Ryan, because we claim, and the Wall Street Journal claims, and the victims claim, and Jeffrey Epstein called Donald Trump his best friend, who he was for about 10 years, and they were hanging out pretty much everywhere. And Trump, we know, was on the flight log 7 times. Listen, the list goes on and on with the evidence. And now we're learning that even Donald Trump admits that Jeffrey Epstein poached, for lack of a better term, at least one young girl that we know of that worked at Mar-a-Lago. First of all, why is someone under the age of 16 working there? Number one. And number two, that's what Donald Trump was angry about. And yet we're told by MAGA, we're the ones that are unreasonable here. Help me understand that.
Well, for us, there is no understanding it. You know, that's the whole issue I have. People think it's like over politics. No, their hypocrisy is what really gets me. If they were level across the board, I would say, okay, at least you guys, you know, you're consistent. There's no consistency from Republicans, Trump voters, whatever you want to call them. There's none. And in terms of, you know, this Epstein list, this isn't just some young girl. This is Virginia Guffrey, who unfortunately died back in April. And I think I will always think that part of the reason that she did that was because of all of this happening and her seeing that there really isn't going to be any real justice done. And,
very sad.
You know, Ghislaine Maxwell is now taking her case to the Supreme Court. It's like, do you believe in coincidences that a week after Trump's lawyers go there, she's now taking her case to the Supreme Court? I don't believe in coincidence like that. No. And then, like you said, on top of it, it was a political football that they used to literally get elected. Like you said you were going to drain the swamp, get rid of all the predators, blah, 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 blah. And then you elected an adjudicated sexual predator, and you thought that he was going to release these files. And for anybody with a brain, you would know that if somebody's not guilty, and especially when you're in a position like Donald Trump is, you're not going to continually take those political L's day after day after day if you knew that you had to hide something. His name wasn't in those files, if there wasn't some real connections to stuff that would make him look bad, he would have released those files day one.
100%. He'll do anything to make Democrats look bad.
Yep.
And I do find it interesting that his tone seems to change. First, he says Barack Obama and Joe Biden created these files. Then he says Merrick Garland. Then he says Merrick Garland created these files. See, here's where they're really stuck. They can't just make stuff up because they know there are both Republicans and Democrats that have seen these files, right? Yes. I have no doubt, Ryan, and I think you would agree with me on this, that there are probably prominent people on the left and the right that are on this list that are in these files.
100%.
And we're
Clinton's
both
probably in them.
Yeah.
Let's call it what it is.
Probably. Yeah, sure. And I don't defend him when it comes to his improprieties, but
get his ass. I don't care.
Absolutely. But that's the difference right now, Ryan, between people like us and people on the far right. They only care if there are people on the left that are exposed. They don't care if it's people on the right that they will continue to defend. They're literally defending Donald Trump at every avenue. Mike Johnson, who calls himself this wholesome Christian, okay, knows that Donald Trump is in these files. J.D. Vance, our vice president, who was preaching to us, we need to release the files. Why won't they release the files? He's defending Donald Trump. These people continue to defend Donald Trump, knowing the predator that he is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they voted for him, knowing the predator that he is. You know, let's just call it what it is. They've always known what he is. And I've discovered that a lot of people that vote for him, the reason they do is because they conduct their lives very similar, you know, and it's very sad. And it may be either they're business frauds, so they support him because they're doing the same kind of fraud, or they like kids too, and that's why they support him. There's all different reasons why somebody voted for this dude, but very few of them are good.
You're right. You're right about that. I mean, I wanted to ask you about this. Lee Zeldin is on Fox News yesterday, and we're going to play this audio. They're talking about gas cans. This is what they're talking about when, we have man-made starvation in Gaza, which is something else I wanted to talk to you about. They're crushing healthcare costs. And college graduates across the country are struggling to find employment. These are, at least in my personal opinion, some of the more pressing issues facing the country, but they continue to want to attack the trans community. They want to continue to attack migrants, those that are undocumented, because they think that there's some sort of huge threat to society. And yet this is what they are doing. Zeldin is on Fox News talking about how we got to bring gas cans back, how we have to ban books, right? How drag queen reading is hurting our children. Our children are being indoctrinated. I mean, it's crazy, right? And I laugh at this too because it's so insane.
Yeah.
But they don't talk about the real issues. And then when we bring up Epstein, they say, we need to talk about the real issues that Americans care about. First of all, MAGA Republicans have been talking about the Epstein files for years. And number two, you guys aren't talking about the real issues that Americans care about, which is putting food on the table for their family. You're taking away their Medicare. You're taking away their food stamps.
Yeah. No, I mean, you said it all. These people don't care about Americans. Donald Trump doesn't care about Americans. He doesn't care about making our lives better. Just go listen to Lauren Boebert. She's saying it out loud. It's not my job to make your life better. It's not my job to keep you safe. It's like, I'm sorry. I thought you were elected by the people to work for the people. So who the hell are you working for? Like, that's what I thought of when I heard her say that. But it didn't surprise me because that's Marjorie Taylor Greene, all of them. That's their whole thing. Conservatives think that everything should be conserved. That's why they're called that. They don't want to give money to anybody. They don't want to help anybody. If Elon Musk took the money he spends on one rocket, he could fix an entire fucking state's economy. But we don't talk about things like that. We talk about public responsibility and we should just leave it up to people to make donations. And it's like, but they don't do that. Like,
They don't.
You can't depend on that. So we have to get back to a place of reality of, like you said, what are we really dealing with as Americans? As we look at Gaza and we see what's happening there, I don't think a lot of Americans fathom what that could actually be like.
I agree with you. Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
I wanted to get your thoughts on Gaza. Obviously, this is horrific. Well, I mean, it's tough to watch these children that are losing their lives, dying of starvation. These families. We know that thousands of people have lost their lives, and it is. And Benjamin Netanyahu has the gall. And by the way, I'm done with this guy, and I admit that I was wrong. A year ago, I was defending Benjamin Netanyahu, and I was very angry at a guy like Mehdi Hassan, and I felt like he was extremely anti-Israel. But then I realized the more and more I listen to him and the more and more I see what the Israeli government is doing, I'm still pro-Israel. And as I've said before, Ryan, an innocent child losing their life in Gaza, just as bad as an innocent Israeli child losing their life in Israel. Yeah. But let's be honest here. Benjamin Netanyahu is a liar. He's trying to tell us what we see on television. He's trying to tell us that's not what we're seeing. And Israel has not all control, but a lot of control over food and aid that is being sent to Gaza. And he's telling us it's all Hamas. Now, I have no doubt that Hamas is certainly playing a role, but so is the Israeli government. And Benjamin Netanyahu is making the case that, hey, we've done everything we can. There's nothing more we can do. Benjamin Netanyahu is a liar. He's been bad for his own people. He's been terrible for Israel, in my opinion. And I think he's terrible for the world. And I think he's partially part of the problem. That's just my personal opinion. And I've apologized on the air, and I've said I was wrong about Mehdi Hassan. I believe what he's saying is accurate and the truth. And I want to get him on the show to talk about that. I owe him an apology. And I was wrong about Benjamin Netanyahu.
Yeah, look, I was never a Netanyahu fan. Fortunately, I think I always saw that dude kind of for what he was. I love what you said, though, because I feel like a lot of people are getting confused with some of our posts about Gaza. It's not about being anti-Israel. Like you said, I'm pro-Israel. I'm pro, all of that. I'm anti-Netanyahu.
Right.
And I want people to also remember that he was on his way out in his own country. They were getting ready to oust him. And then all this happened. October 7th happened and everything went to shit. So that's why he's still there. There's a very high possibility that had all this not happened, that they would have ousted him. So, he, like you said, he's clinging on to power and he's doing everything he can to try to make himself indispensable, in my personal opinion.
I agree.
And I don't know how you could not call him personally a war criminal at this point.
Oh, he is. He is. I've said that yesterday. I've said that last week. I believe that Benjamin Netanyahu has committed war crimes.
Yeah.
I believe that Donald Trump likes Benjamin Netanyahu because Netanyahu says that he deserves the Nobel Peace Prize. He's just kissing his ass,
Yep.
just like Vladimir Putin has done for years. And that's really the way I feel about this whole situation. Now, look, obviously, Hamas is a horrible organization, a
Yes.
terrorist organization. I want all of them gone. Obviously, what took place on that fateful day and what Hamas did is atrocious. I wish we would get people like Rashida Tlaib and Ilhan Omar to at least admit that. I do not believe the overwhelming majority of those in the Democrat Party are anti-Semitic. I do believe there are a few. You're going to have a few bad apples everywhere. Yeah. But I do believe there is a way to be pro-Israel. For example, it is also very difficult for me to have a good faith conversation with someone from Palestine who says that they do not believe Israel should have the right to exist. I don't agree with that either. I'm pro-Israel, but I am anti-Israeli government. And just like you
can't swing that far. Yeah.
Right. And I am anti-Benjamin Netanyahu. I think it is a disgrace and it is disgusting what is going on in Gaza right now. It is a humanitarian issue. And I'm not sure America is doing enough. We've given Israel over $450 billion. Can we please help the people in Gaza? Even if the people in Gaza believe Israel shouldn't exist, they have the right to feel that way. I disagree with them. It doesn't mean they deserve to starve to death, right?
Yeah. Again, this is shocking what we're seeing. And I think a lot of people, it's difficult because these videos start to feel like, like trauma porn after a while. But the reason that a lot of creators like myself are posting some of these is because I really feel like people need to see this. We always need to be cautious with the videos that we watch because the media can be, manipulated to make us all think something different. But I don't think there's any disputing right now that there are thousands, if not hundreds of thousands or tens of thousands starving in Gaza right now. I just don't think there's any disputing that. The videos.
Someone is asking us though, Ryan, how could you support Israel? And I want to be very clear on this. Just like Iran, in one aspect anyway, the Iranian government, they are made up of terrorists and they harbor terrorists. But there are a lot of people in Iran that are not bad people. There are a lot of people in Iran that are decent, good people. They just want to provide for their families. I feel the same way about people in Israel. There's a lot of good people. By the way, a lot of Palestinians that live in Israel, millions, that are not bad people, that are decent people, that are good people. I don't want innocent people to lose their lives. That's what I mean when I say I'm pro-Israel. It doesn't mean I'm pro-Benjamin Netanyahu because I'm not.
Okay, I'll put it to you this way. I'm pro-America. I'm not pro-MAGA.
Right, correct.
I'm not even pro-Democrat.
Right.
I'm pro-America.
Right.
And to me, that's what it means when I say I'm pro-Israel.
Right.
I'm pro the people that are there, like you just said, just living their life, don't want any part in this nonsense, aren't wishing death on anybody. Like you said, they're just living their lives. And the next thing you know, they're turning around and, their apartment buildings being bombed.
Right.
So it's just like, how can I be pro-Israel? Because I see all the innocent people in Israel too. So you can't look at Gaza and see all those innocent people and not look at Israel and see those innocent people too. That's my answer.
I mean, looking at those images of children that are starving to death, I have to look away. I mean, it's so hard to watch. Just as tough and difficult as it was when you saw those innocent Israelis being kidnapped by Hamas. That was just as horrible. Yeah, it's devastating. Right. I don't want this to happen. I think most Americans don't want to see this happening, whether it be in Gaza or Iran or Israel. But it's not like Donald Trump has done a wonderful job at dealing with these issues. And what's going on in Gaza right now is a disgrace. It's interesting when I hear Donald Trump, Ryan, say, oh, yeah, my wife, Melania, he should really call her a contractual wife who's never in the same zip code. But when he's like, yeah, Melania hates to see what's going on there in Gaza. Oh, that's really nice. What's she doing about it? Is she making public statements?
As a
is
first
she going
lady,
around?
Yeah.
Is she going down there to Gaza? Is she going to Israel? Is she traveling to the Middle East? No, she cares about what handbag she has, in New York City walking around and claims that she's there to take care of Barron. And that's why she's not in the White House. I mean, it's just, these people it's despicable.
Isn't he like 19 or 20?
Yeah. He's a college student. And she claims the reason why she's not in the White House is because she needs to take care of her son, who's a college student. The real reason is she can't stand her contractual husband. We all know that. Look at the body language. She won't even let him kiss her on the lips, not even like a friend tweak kiss.
But not only that, she doesn't want the job.
Yeah.
Like, forget all that. She never wanted to be first lady. She didn't want it the first time. I knew it. I was like, oh, she was a horrible first lady the first go around. This time, she's going to be like, not even there.
I really don't care. Do you?
Well, the only thing I care about again is, they're tearing up the Rose Garden, changing the color of Air Force One. Like, it's like they're trying to change the name of the Kennedy Center. They're trying to make themselves like the first family of America and erase everything Kennedy. And that's just like, that's rubbing me the wrong way.
It's terrible. We certainly won't hear from Robert F. Kennedy Jr. about that. I can promise you that. We won't hear about that. We won't hear from him. He won't be criticizing Trump in any way, shape, or form. And by the way, I knew that was going to happen when I interviewed him. I knew when I interviewed him a year ago, I couldn't get him to criticize Donald Trump for anything. And then I met him in person in a press conference, and I asked him again, and I said, do you think Donald Trump is a threat to democracy? He would not say yes. And as soon as I got that reaction from him and I played that on the air, I said, this guy is going to work for Trump if Trump wins. He's going to work for Trump. He's trying to play the side of Trump. He tried to reach out to the Harris people, but, it's here nor there now. He will not. It's just like everybody else in his administration. They cannot and will not criticize Donald Trump for anything. Well, neither will his cult followers.
But it goes back to what you just said. He's like, well, I tried reaching out to the Harris campaign, but they didn't want to talk to me. So I went and worked for Trump. That's your reason? Because the Kamala Harris campaign wouldn't work with you because they see what a freaking nightmare you are? Yeah. So you like, well, I got to go work for somebody. So I'll just drop my morals and principles and I'll go work for Trump.
Yep.
That to me, it just said everything about him as a man.
That's really what everybody in Donald Trump's administration is doing, including Marco Rubio, by the way. They have put aside any morals that they might have had. And people like Dan Bongino and Kash Patel, who absolutely know that Donald Trump is in the Epstein files.
And they haven't quit.
Nope, they haven't quit. At least if they quit, and I thought Dan Bongino might. At least if they quit. If Dan Bongino's a scumbag, but at least if he quit, I would say, at least he has an ounce of integrity.
I would have given him a kudos for that.
Yeah, but none of them have quit. They all know he's in the Epstein files. Pam Bondi certainly does. They have not stepped down. They refuse to do so. And, looking back on history, let's just call it for what it is. They are defending and doing anything they can to protect a pedophile while these victims want justice. It's insane.
Well, and again, going back to what a lot of us on the left were saying with this election was that all these people were loyalists. He was putting all these people in place for a reason, and this is the reason, so that he had protection when all this went down. He needed to know that he had an AG, which is why he tried putting Matt Gaetz in there, because he knew that he had so much on Matt Gaetz that Matt Gaetz would do anything he asked him to do, but that backfired. So then he had to go find Pam Bondi, and she isn't much better, as you can see.
No, not the brightest of ladies in the world either. And you probably shouldn't have said that you were going to release the Epstein files and you had a list on your desk.
And you probably the video of all the kids. Yeah.
And you probably shouldn't have had these right-wing idiots like Jack Posobiec giving them these binders before checking to make sure that Donald Trump wasn't in the Epstein files. Probably should have done your homework first.
I don't think there's anything in those binders.
Probably not. Probably not. We haven't seen phase 2 yet. Hey, Ryan, before I let you go, my friend, and I always love it when you take some time to join us on the show. Can you give out that information of your new podcast that's going to be starting up and the socials and how people can follow you?
Yes, please go to my YouTube and subscribe. You can find it at Ryan Shed, SHEAD. But we just went with our first show last night, actually, with Marcus Flowers, called With All Due Respect. And if you guys know what comes after when somebody says, with all due respect, and that's pretty much the premise of the show. What comes after, it usually stings, and
someone gets whacked on The Sopranos, usually.
Exactly. So it was a great show. Really look forward to working with Marcus and his team. It's already going great. And then, of course, we still have Hold the Mic with Ian and I. That's going to be back in a few weeks because, as you guys know, he's moving to Hawaii. So hate him a little bit more every day. But yeah, outside of that, please go follow us on social media everywhere. Go subscribe to Marcus's Substack at Marcus Flowers, and that's where our show there is primarily going to be. So as always, hey man, thanks for having me on the show. You know, I always love coming here and having a good conversation with you, and props to the production team in the back. Appreciate you guys too.
Thanks, Ryan. You're the best, man. Thank you. I appreciate you coming on, and congratulations on the new podcast. And we will talk to you soon, my friend.
Thanks,
Have a great
sir.
weekend.
You too, brother.
There you go, everybody. Ryan Shedd. You know, I for years I watched his stuff on social media. He's got a large following on social media. It's great to be friends with him, and he does a fantastic job. Check out his new pod. It's really, really good. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break. What I mean by quick, I don't mean, you know, the 12 seconds that Donald Trump lasted with Stormy Daniels. Not that quick, but a little longer than that. We'll last about a minute. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, you are not going to believe, and maybe you will, what the Donald Trump administration is now focused on. We're going to talk a little bit about that, and we're going to talk about the lies on Fox News that continue, and it's really amazing to me in real time. I'm going to play this for you, in real time, the lies that they're spreading just today, talking about the economy, and then we'll take some phone calls on the other side as well. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back right after this. It's Pushing the Limits right here on KSHP.
Hey, everybody. Are you struggling to find a pizza place that reminds you of
Dreams can come true. Radio U. Radio U is a 5-day course that'll teach you how to acquire your dream show. We'll teach you how to host, how to write commercial, how to interview, how to market, how to write a contract, and most importantly, how to monetize your dream radio show. You'll learn from some of the best in the business with over 75 years in broadcast experience. You'll learn from people like me. And the best part? Every single student will be live on the radio as part of the class. Plus, one student from each class will get their very own radio show. You'll be live on the air right here in Las Vegas. Radio U. The 5-day course is being offered at $699. For more information, give Radio U a call. 702-763-5024. That's 702-763-5024. Or check them out at radioyou101.com.
All right, everybody, welcome back. It is Pushing the Limits on a Thursday. Programming note for you. Tomorrow on the show, the creator of the Un-F America Tour, Z's going to be joining us in studio tomorrow. So I'm certainly looking forward to talking to her. And Mercedes, who is a very, very popular social media left-leaning influencer. She's called Camp Callout on all social media platforms, has a very large following. Mercedes is going to be joining us on the show tomorrow as well. So we're going to have Z in studio because she doesn't live too far, actually, from here. And so Z is going to be co-hosting with me the entire show on a Friday. And Mercedes, who is a very popular left-wing social media influencer, is going to be joining us on the show tomorrow too. Don't worry, we'll get Robbie Roadsteamer back on the show. So pretty cool. We got Z in studio. We got Mercedes that's going to be joining us as a guest tomorrow. So we're going to have a lot of fun tomorrow, no doubt about that. Can I just say this, ladies and gentlemen? I absolutely hate TikTok. And if they want to ban me for the rest of my life, I just don't care anymore. Okay? They just suspended me again as I was on TikTok Live. They claimed misinformation. They said, I'm the one who's spreading misinformation. Meanwhile, on TikTok, they let people use the N-word, and they let people spread all sorts of misinformation, but somehow I'm the bad guy. They do it again. Every single time I go live on TikTok, they take my live down. It's like, I don't even know how Parker and some of these guys deal with it. I was talking to Parker last week, not just on this show, but we had a private conversation, and he's like, he's had it with TikTok as well. It's brutal. I'm telling you, YouTube is the best platform. I really feel that way. YouTube allows you to express your opinions. Of course, they're responsible about it. They're not going to let hatred and racism and medical misinformation. I think YouTube does a phenomenal job at getting the riffraff out, but giving you the opportunity to share your opinions. I think YouTube is the best platform, and I've been saying that for a very long time. I haven't had any issues with YouTube. I have nothing but nice things to say, and I haven't had any issues, by the way, with Facebook either. But TikTok is just the worst. And let me tell you something. If TikTok is banned in the United States, I don't give a crap anymore. I really don't care. They're so frustrating, and their bots on there and how they take, anti-Donald Trump stuff down, because that's what they do. If you're talking trash about Democrats and lefties, your stuff will be kept up there. But if you're anti-Donald Trump, it's much easier, and I know this for a fact, for them to take stuff down. It's a joke, and it's sickening, and I just wanted to share that with everybody. So, unfortunately, sometimes I have to watch Fox News, and I suffer through it. I watch a little bit of CNN every night. I watch a little bit of Fox News every night. I do that to get both sides of the issue, and then I form my own opinions, and I share them for you. But this chick, Faulkner, on Fox News is one of the worst. First of all, she's a complete airhead. And second of all, she continually spreads misinformation. I want you to listen to this exchange she had with a Democrat where she's making the case that if the crime rises, it's all due to this defund the police narrative. By the way, this guy who's running for mayor in New York City has said openly he does not want to defund the police. 99.9% of Democrats have said openly they don't want to defund the police. What some of them have said, and what Joe Biden did, was he reallocated certain funds from some precincts to others. That is not defunding the police. So this whole idea that these MAGA idiots out there are saying defund the police is a blatant lie. Listen to this idiot Faulkner talk about crime rising, and then when she actually gets a real statistic from a Democrat, which is that the red states are leading with murder rates and high-profile crimes, listen to how they just nudge that actual real fact off to the side. This is a perfect example of why I don't call it Fox News, I call it Fox Noise, and Faulkner embarrassing herself live this morning.
George Floyd, but in the city of George Floyd, Jacob Frey. Your party is running someone far, far to the left of Jacob Frey, and he is being called right now the Midwest Mom Donnie. He wants some of the same things. He talks about defunding the police and free grocery stores and free transportation. And you think free is free. But if the crime rises, and it always does, this is what we see. No. We already know it does. When you defund police, we already know it does.
He says he doesn't want to defund the police. That's what he says.
I'm giving you an example of where it's spreading. I'm giving you an example. And since Mom Donnie likes to go back to the origin of his comments being in Minneapolis with the death of George Floyd, I'm saying, look at what's cropped up there. This is something that you guys will come to a reckoning to in your party. It is a divide in your party.
There are much higher rates of crime in red states than blue states, of murder, of gun deaths. in red states governed by Republicans than in blue states.
That's a
Just a
nuanced.
fact.
That's a nuanced
Just a
statistic.
fact.
That's a nuanced
It's
statistic.
just
We
a
can get
fact.
into it later. I know we have to move.
Sorry.
We do. It's always like this, though, right?
Notice how they just move on from that fact. Notice how they just brush that off to the side, and Faulkner is such an idiot. That is true. And Faulkner's trying to make the claim that all the crime is rising in all these blue states, and it's just to fund the police narrative, which is a lie. And then when she's fact-checked, and the most serious of crimes and the murder rates are higher in most red states than blue states in the United States of America, her response is, well, that's a nuanced statistic. What that means is I'm not going to acknowledge it. I'm not going to acknowledge that fact that makes me look bad. I mean, she is just the worst. And then listen to this exchange she had on polling, where she's making the case that inflation is down, which, by the way, it's not. The new report said it's up a little bit. She lied about that. And this guy on there is sharing Fox News actual polling that shows you how many people in this country are frustrated with how Donald Trump is handling the economy. And once again, Faulkner gets completely embarrassed and destroyed on her own show.
Who do you think this really does come down to having to impress the American people right now? Is your party, Mike, you guys are not all moving in concert with one another.
No, I mean, we lost the last election, so we're having a lot of tough conversations about how we build a new Democratic Party. That'll keep happening until we elevate a new candidate. What I'll tell you, though, is I think both political parties are completely out of touch with the day-to-day lives of most Americans. There's a lot of polling out in the last couple of weeks talking about how frustrated people are with inflation and pricing and housing and things like that.
Inflation's at 2%. The GDP
well,
just
inflation's at 2.9%, actually, Harris. It's
the GDP just popped to 3%. I mean, we haven't seen that in a very long time.
If I could point you to Fox's own polling, Trump is negative 30% on pricing and the inflation. It's as unpopular as Joe Biden ever was. So the American people are pretty frustrated with where their lives are right now. There's a Navigator poll out just this morning or yesterday that has a lot of Americans saying they're worse off than they were 6 months ago.
Absolutely and positively ridiculous. And I'm so glad that this guy was on there, you know, spreading truth to Faulkner's lies once again. Inflation is at 2%. No, it's not. It went up again. And again, making the case that it's all the Democrats. Fox News own polling. And he's right when he says Trump is more unpopular when it comes to inflation than Joe Biden ever was, based on Fox News only polling. So listen, Faulkner's an idiot. Fox News has absolutely zero credibility, and it's an embarrassment. And then there's Lee Zeldin, another clown in Donald Trump's administration. So what is the Trump administration focused on? What is Zeldin talking about? Is he talking about the starvation in Gaza? Are they talking about the fact that over 15 million people could be losing their health care coverage and their Medicaid? Talking about the fact that people are struggling to work and getting jobs and all these businesses are shutting down across the country and tourism is way down? Are they talking about the real issues that Americans care about? No. What is Lee Zeldin talking about? Gas cans. Listen to this.
Make gas cans great again. Okay. I think that's your slogan, actually. I'd love to see you bring back the good old-fashioned red plastic gas can that was so easy to use. Can we have it back, please?
Yes, we just sent a letter last week to the portable gas can manufacturers encouraging them strongly to vent the can. There's a lot of frustration from Americans across the country because what should take 45 seconds takes 5 minutes. People feel like they need 3 hands or 6 hands to pour a gas can. Those vents should be added back in. EPA wants to do our part.
Okay. Sir, it was a great pleasure having you on the show. Come back and explain to us anytime you like how you're killing the Green New Deal. Thank you very much, sir. We'll see you again soon.
There you go.
Got to check that market, please.
Thank you very
Return
much.
south.
Thank you very much for that. Yeah, that was great. Thank you, Mr. Zeldin. Thank God for making gas cans great again. Am I in the twilight zone here? That's what Americans care about? Even if you're some stupid MAGA with 2 teeth, with no education, you think you really care about gas cans? Most of these people, these dummies that voted for Donald Trump, I would imagine a lot of them don't even own vehicles. It's just so stupid. It's just so ridiculous. And then there's Burgum, who was another 24-hour Trump knee pad wearing fool who doesn't even understand how solar energy works. I will explain. But I want you to listen to this complete moron talk about solar energy and prove that, again, we have somebody in somebody else in the Trump administration that has absolutely no idea what they're talking about, in this case, solar energy.
Yesterday, we've had this super high heat from Washington to New York. We've had times during the last couple of days where, in spite of the hundreds of billions of dollars this country spent on wind, we only had like 1% or 2% of the electricity being generated by wind. And then, of course, when the sun goes down, you have a catastrophic failure called sunset, and there's no solar energy produced. And yet we're subsidizing these things that are intermittent, unreliable, and expensive. So we've got to get back to baseload. We over-rotated towards the renewables. You destabilize the grid unless you've got the baseload electricity, and that can come from hydro, geothermal, nuclear, oil, gas, all kinds of sources. And like we were this last week, over 90% of the energy between Washington, D.C. and New York was coming from fossil fuels and from nuclear. That's what's running our country right now. That's what's going to continue to run our country, and that's what we need for us to be prosperous as a nation.
You've laid out.
The Interior Secretary just said, and correct me if I'm wrong, that the solar failures that we are having is because the sun goes down at night. Did I hear that correctly? The Interior Secretary just said that. I cannot believe what I just heard. I cannot believe that he just said that. But that's exactly what he just said. And I'm almost at a loss for words. These people are so incompetent and they are such imbeciles that he believes that that's our solar failures in this country because the sun goes down, as if he's never heard about batteries before. Oh, yes, and then we get to Sean Duffy. Now, Sean Duffy has always been a complete imbecile. But as you know, it's not just what took place in Reagan, over Reagan International Airport, where we had that horrible situation and all those innocent people lost their lives in that crash with a helicopter. And we've had so many near misses just in the last few weeks. This wasn't happening under the Joe Biden administration, nowhere near. So what happens? Somebody on Fox News asks Sean Duffy a question where he has to take maybe a little bit of accountability. And what does Sean Duffy do? He blames all these recent aircraft near misses on the Biden administration and Pete Buttigieg. Have a listen to this.
Advice. I want to ask about the hearings on the Hill. We can put up a timeline of these recent near misses. You've expressed concern about it. What do we need to know based on what you've learned so far?
Well, what you need to know is the last administration didn't pay attention to some very risky signs that were taking place in the D.C. airspace. They didn't care about safety. They cared about DEI. They cared about pushing a green agenda. That was the mission of DOT, but the true mission really is safety. And so we've looked at DCA. We've restricted helicopter traffic on day one in DCA, so you don't have airplane, helicopter cross traffic. If the president flies, we shut down traffic. You don't have it at any point in DCA. We've gone to the next step, though, to look at other airspaces. Again, you reported some of these stories where we've had some issues with military aircraft and commercial aircraft, and we need to deflect that and get procedures in place. But it's an issue that we're focusing on because we care about it. We're not ignoring it. We're not going to pass it off to the next administration like Pete Buttigieg and Joe Biden did to us. We're working on fixing it.
Yeah, very nicely done there, Sean Duffy. You're working on fixing it. I'm sure you are. And I want to ask you guys all this question because obviously there are constant lies here. But it's getting to a point now where it's so laughable and it's so easily provable that they are lying. And do the Fox News listeners actually believe in this nonsense? Like, I guess some of them do. I don't know how anybody could watch Fox News at this point. I really don't. And what these MAGA morons are doing, and what people like Sean Duffy are doing, is they're covering up for what is clearly a system that is blatantly collapsing. because it is filled with a bunch of stupid personnel cuts and incompetent leadership. Look at the people that are in Donald Trump's administration. These are incompetent people that are completely unqualified for the jobs. And Pete Hegseth is an absolute perfect example of that, I would say. Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Kash Patel, Dan Bongino. Listen, I can go down the list. Apparently, if you're the wife of the guy who ran the WWE for years, that makes you some sort of expert. And I've had to suffer through this as well, luckily not with a plane crash, but with airlines that are constantly in delays, and they're worse than ever now. I was delayed like 3 or 4 hours in Las Vegas just trying to fly to Reno a few weeks ago. And it seems like these airlines, they're taking away any rules that would help the passengers and help the customers. Not to mention that Donald Trump is leading a cover-up for Americans that are at risk because of him. This is what the American people are facing. Sean Duffy is just one of many examples that I've given on this show. Burgum is another moron. I played you Lee Zeldin, who is another complete idiot. And of course, Fox News anchors, idiots like Faulkner, who again spread misinformation day in and day out, and people like Sean Duffy will never take responsibility for anything that they do. And meanwhile, while all this is going on, there's now construction that I'm understanding of a $200 million White House ballroom that will begin in September. The official press secretary, Caroline Leavitt, stated this, substantially separated from the main building of the White House. Yeah, because this is what Americans really care about. Let's take away the food stamps, let's take away the health care, and let's American taxpayers spend $200 million on a separate room in the White House. I mean, this is just despicable. Separate building, by the way. This is what we're learning. This is going to be a separate building. I mean, it's just unbelievable. Every single day, it's something new with this administration. I do want to open up the phone lines, and there's a lot of things that we are going to be discussing today. And there's a lot of questions that I'm going to ask you. Does anybody still even watch Fox News? I mean, I have to because it's my job. What do you make of the fact that the Trump administration is focusing on gas cans? What do you make of the fact that Donald Trump continues to lie about inflation, which is going up, not down? What do you make of the fact that Burgum doesn't know how solar energy works, clearly, with his statements on Fox News yesterday? And Sean Duffy is still blaming Pete Buttigieg for all these near and recent aircraft near misses that have been taking place, several just in the last few weeks. The number to call if you want to be a part of the conversation is 702-221-7283. And again, that number, if you want to be a part of the program, now is the time to do so. That number again is 702-221-SAVE. We'll put the number maybe on the bottom of the screen, 702-221-7283, if you do want to be a part of the conversation. Unfortunately, people from TikTok will not be calling into the show today because if I say that Donald Trump is in the Epstein files, according to the Wall Street Journal, apparently that's misinformation. All right, let's get to those calls. Let's go to Mark. Mark is first up on PTL. Hey, Mark, what's going on?
Hey, Brian. I just have a comment and a question. Comment is, or a question, two questions, actually. Can you reach out to Lev Parnas and try to get him on the show again?
Say that one more time. Who did you say you wanted on?
Lev Parnas.
Lev Parnas. Yeah, I have Lev's personal cell phone number, and I could definitely get Lev back on the show. Lev's a really good guy. I spent time with him in Vegas. They had an event out here, and Lev's a really good dude.
It'll be nice to hear him again.
Sure.
I watch his podcast all the time. But my question now to you, Brian, is this. What do you think MAGA, I mean the base, the real base, why do you think they're angry about the Epstein files, of them not being released? And I'll give you the answer what Lev Parnas said.
Why? Your question is, why do you think so many MAGA are angry?
Right, of the Epstein files not being released. What is their anger about?
I think some of them are angry because they assumed that there are only left-leaning people in there. I don't think, I'm going to be honest with you, Mark, I don't think a lot of MAGA people are upset that children were raped, that children were sodomized, that young teens. I don't think that bothers them. I think what bothers them is that they think Bill Clinton's going to be exposed and all people on the left are going to be exposed. I think that's what they're angry at. And I think most of these MAGA people are more upset that left-leaning people are not being exposed rather than all the children that were raped. That's what I think, Mark.
Brian, I'm going to give you the answer what Lev said. Basically, what you just said. They are not angry if Trump is on that list. They're not angry about all the kids being sexually abused. What they're angry about is they want to see what Democrats are on that list. And that's the only thing they're
Correct.
angry about.
So you agree with me? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Listen, this is the times that we are in right now, where you've had all these people on the far right. I mean, they're all hypocrites. Can we just call it what it is? They're all hypocrites. They claim they care about child safety. How often do you hear them talking about gun control? You hear them talking about has a child ever died at a drag queen reading? Has a child ever been murdered from a drag queen? How many children? It's the second leading cause of death in children. How many children die at the hands of gun violence?
Brian,
how often do you hear them talking about guns?
Brian, pro-life, but if your kid gets sexually abused, yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Listen, I don't disagree with you. I talk about these MAGA Republicans every day and their hypocrisy, Mark. It is disgusting. You're 100% right, my friend. I appreciate the call, Mark. Thank you, Mark. Number to call, by the way, if you want to be a part of the conversation, is 702-221-7283. And again, that number, 702-221-SAVE. If you do want to be a part of the conversation, now is your opportunity to do so. 702-221-7283, the number to call. All right, let's go to Robert. Hey, Robert, thanks for calling in. Where are you calling from?
I am calling from California, and I wanted to make a comment from yesterday's show about the New York mass shooting. I keep hearing everybody ask, how come this guy could walk around the streets with an assault rifle and nobody called the police or noticed? The simple answer is because the MAGA Republicans have trained us not to. Whenever there's a mass shooting, they go and someone suggests a safety gun law, they go into they're taking away our guns mode, and they dress up in their cosplay camo outfits, their cosplay military outfits, and they go on TikTok and YouTube with fishing poles and carrying assault rifles. And when the police are called on them, they're like, it's my right to open carry. Here's my permit. How dare you harass me? So they've trained us not to call the police on them.
I think that's certainly a part of it, and I have to be honest with you. When I see these Proud Boy members in their camouflage, ridiculous clown outfits thinking like they served when we know that the overwhelming majority of them did not, and they carry those AR-15s on, and I guess it makes them look tough. It's almost like it's an insecurity type thing. It makes me uncomfortable. And
it's compensation. They're compensating.
Yeah, well, I think, it's kind of like, so I was having a conversation with somebody about this the other day, like somebody that's in the gym for 20 hours a day is overcompensating for something in their life. That's my personal opinion. Now, I'm the opposite of that. I don't go to the gym at all because I'm just lazy. But the truth of the matter is, it's like, how do I even, it's like I've heard from people, the guy who drives that really expensive sports car is usually the guy that has the size of Donald Trump, Mushroom Man, if you know what I'm saying. I feel the same way about these people that are working out 20 hours a day and these people that have all their AR-15s and they make love to their guns before they go to sleep. They are overcompensating for some sort of insecurity in their life, right? It's got to be that.
You can find tons of pictures of them with their AR-15s over their shoulders in coffee shops, donut shops, grocery stores, because it's my right to open carry. Don't you dare call the police on me. And that's why people can walk around just before a mass shooting and nobody calls. I
agree. And I talk about this issue all the time, my friend, and you're absolutely right. Listen, I lost all faith after the we could say after Columbine, right? But when I was in news, I wasn't in news back then, I was in college. After the Sandy Hook shooting, when a bunch of 8- and 9-year-old kids are decapitated, and Barack Obama tried to do everything in his power for the victims, for the families, to help Americans. He tried to do everything, and he begged those in the House and the Senate to be on his side on this one. And Republicans wouldn't help him because they didn't want to pass any new gun legislation. It's the same with Republicans today that are voting to not release the Epstein files because they don't care about your kids. They certainly don't care about child sex trafficking. They don't care about children that are literally being sodomized and raped because if they did, they would vote to release the files, whether that made Donald Trump look bad or not. But they're not doing that because they don't care about anything but themselves and their orange turd 34-count adjudicated rapist leader. They are scumbags.
Exactly.
Not every
Exactly.
Republican,
How
but
dare
most
Obama
of them.
try to take away our guns in his tan suit with his spicy mustard?
Yeah, I mean, that's really what this comes down to. And by the way, make no mistake about it. MAGA Republicans have made it easier for people to get their hands on guns. MAGA Republicans have made it easier. There are way too many loopholes. They have done nothing. Joe Biden tried to do everything he could. In fact, he passed the largest. It wasn't enough, and it wasn't his fault, but he passed the most bipartisan gun legislation we've had in decades, which wasn't much, but he did everything he could.
Trump made it easier for the mentally ill to buy guns.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we see these people like in New York City, right? Guy from Vegas. Mentally ill. Somehow he had a permit to carry. He had a permit. He was legal. Now, how he got these certain weapons, we're still trying to figure that out. But somehow he had a concealed permit in Nevada when Las Vegas Metro Police, and by the way, I love our Kevin McMahill, who's the sheriff here. He's a great guy, not his fault. But how the hell was this guy allowed to purchase any gun legally? But if you listen to these MAGA idiots out there, they will make it sound like more guns make us safer. Do people actually believe that? Are people in society believe that more guns make us safer? We'd be the safest country in the world when it came to gun violence if that was the case.
The majority of Sweden own guns, but they don't have mass shootings. There are episodes on YouTube that talk about this.
Yeah. You know, unfortunately, when you have lawmakers that have an R next to their name, the gun violence is going to continue, and it's never going to drop. It is not going to drop as long as you have MAGA Republicans that care more about getting their A-plus rating from the NRA. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever heard a Democrat campaign or a Democrat running for office in their campaign that bragged about their A-plus rating from the NRA? Have you ever heard a Democrat do that?
I can't say that I have.
Nope. Almost every Republican, right, that's running for office, they brag about their guns. They have Christmas photos, and they give their children AR-15s to hold on to. Some of them shoot in their campaign ads, and they always brag about the A-plus rating they have from the NRA. Let me tell you why. Because it's more important for them to get that grade from the NRA than it is about children dying in schools. Period. That's how despicable these MAGA Republicans are. They are scum of the earth. Scum of the earth.
Yes, I have seen pictures of Kyle Rittenhouse as a child holding an AR-15. If that isn't grooming, well, damn.
You're right. I appreciate the call, my friend. Thank you. Good phone call. Thank you. And by the way, Turning Points USA, Charlie Kirk. It's why I'm a part of the Un-F America tour, fighting Charlie Kirk now. I'm officially part of that group. And Z's going to be joining us in studio tomorrow, the creator of that group, is because Charlie Kirk goes to show you exactly who this guy is. Charlie Kirk is the guy who paid Kyle Rittenhouse to speak at one of his events. Think about that for a minute. That would be like somebody paying George Zimmerman to speak at an event. I mean, to me, they're both the same kind of people. Number to call if you want to be a part of the conversation is 702-221-7283. Again, that number if you want to be a part of the show, 702-221-SAVE. And while they're trying to, defend a pedophile and do everything they can to clean up a pedophile in Donald Trump, because that's who Donald Trump is. He can sue me if he likes. Donald Trump is an adjudicated rapist, and he's a pedophile. He's the guy who sexualized his own daughter. He's the guy who was best friends with Jeffrey Epstein, who was involved in all these teenage pageants. There's a reason for that, because he's a pedophile. We know that. And there was sex trafficking that was going on at Mar-a-Lago. We know that as well. 702-221-7283. Let's go to Frank. Frank is next up on PTL. Hey, Frank, where are you calling from? Frank, are you there?
You talking to me?
Yeah, Frank. Where are you calling from, Frank?
I'm in Colorado. This is Mike from Colorado. I've
Mike,
called before.
I'm sorry about that, Mike. Go right ahead.
Yeah, Linda Boebert has a picture of her in a military uniform with an AR-15 or a gun.
Oh, yeah. These people are sick.
Oh, yeah, they are very sick. And Boebert won't turn around, and there's a thing about putting light rail from Denver to Fort Collins and also Denver to Colorado Springs, and she gowned that big time. She was totally against that.
Lauren Boebert is the person who puts AR-15s in the hands of 5-year-olds in Christmas pictures. Lauren Boebert is the one who sexually pleases a man in a theater in public. Lauren Boebert is the woman who ran a restaurant and gave people a bunch of food poisoning. Lauren Boebert is the one who made a racist, horrible Islamophobic remark about Ilhan Omar. And by the way, I don't defend Ilhan Omar, but that type of language is unacceptable. Lauren Boebert is not only a very ignorant person, but a despicable human being. And it shows you how stupid the people are who live in her district that continue to vote for her. And we had her opponent on the show on Wednesday.
Yesterday.
It is incredible that anybody could vote for a woman like that. Even if you like some of her policies, I don't even know what they are, but how could anybody support somebody like that? It's incredible to me. I just don't understand it. I don't understand it, my friend.
She was breaking Colorado laws by smoking cigarettes inside that theater.
That's true. She was vaping, and vaping was illegal.
Yeah.
And she was also giving that, I don't know, maybe trying to give that guy a happy ending in public. But, these are the same people that talk about their children. These are the same people that say, we have to protect our children, but they don't want to do anything about gun laws, and they're happy pleasuring a man in a theater when there's children around there. I mean, it's just, I would have said something to her. I would be like, how much are you charging for that, Lauren? Because I'm sure there's a lot of your Republican friends that would be willing to pay you for it. I mean, really, that's what I would say to her. If I saw her, that's what I would say to her. What a despicable human being.
Yeah, she is. Very.
Well, I appreciate you
I
calling.
knew somebody that knew her from a friend, and they said a lot of bad things about her, too.
Yeah. Well, I'm not surprised that the crime that allegedly her son committed that he was apparently charged with. I appreciate the call, my friend. Thank you very much. Number to call if you want to be a part of the program is 702-221-7283. Again, that number if you want to be a part of the show is 702-221-7283. Why don't we go to, let's see here, let's go to Roxanne. Roxanne is calling us next. Hey, Roxanne, thanks for calling into the show. Where are you calling from?
Arizona.
Arizona. I think our border up just accidentally hung up on you, Roxanne. I apologize for that. Please call back, and we will get you back on the air. Let's try to get back to the phone calls now, and let's see, 702-221-7283. Sorry about that, Roxanne. That was a complete accident. I apologize for that. Please call back, and you'll be the first one in line, I promise you. All right, let's go to Brent on line 2. Brent is next up on PTL. Hey, Brent, where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian. Calling from London, Ontario, Canada.
I love my callers from Canada. What's on your mind today, Brent?
Well, the previous caller, I'm not trying to disagree with him so much, but that shooter in New York, I heard, drove right up to the building, parked illegally.
He did, right. He did. He misspoke,
got out of his car and walked straight up to the building with the gun in his hand.
Yeah.
It wasn't like he was walking around town with an AR on him.
Correct. And you're right about that. So, first of all, you're correct. He did park his car right in front of the building.
Illegally, because he knew he wasn't coming out.
Correct. He also apparently got the gun from his boss. I'd like to figure out for $1,400 the rifle.
I didn't hear that.
I would love to know if that exchange was legal or not. If not, that person deserves to go to jail. Listen, so what do I do? What do you do if we're in a situation where we see somebody walking into a building with a gun? Obviously, if we have a gun on ourselves,
I don't carry a gun.
Right, neither do I. But what do you do in that situation? Well, if you're not going to try to stop that person, which you're risking your own life, of course, and I know some heroes do that, the first thing you would do, right, would be to call 911.
Yeah.
And we're learning that nobody called 911 until some of the shots rang out, which is troubling to me. It's troubling.
It's a horrible event.
Yeah. It's terrible. I mean, you look at these innocent ladies that died, this innocent police officer who has a third child on the way. My friend, my heart breaks, and you sound like you're somebody.
We do need reform of gun laws for sure.
Yeah, but sir, I agree with you, but here's my problem. We've needed it for years, ever since Columbine. I was in college. I was 18 years old.
I know. I agree.
And Republicans do nothing. They do nothing. They don't care.
My brother owns an AR-15, and he says no civilian should own this darn weapon.
Yeah. So these idiots like Don Jr. can shoot deer. I mean, it's insane. It's
you don't
insanity.
Shoot deer with that.
I know. Listen, I agree with you, my friend.
A weapon of war.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And what do weapons of war do? They're built to kill
people
as many people as possible in a short period of time. You're absolutely correct, my friend, and I appreciate your call. Thank you. I wish there were people like you out there that were on the right, but they're all cowards. All right, let's go back to Roxanne because we accidentally hung up on her. I think she's calling out of Arizona. Hi, Roxanne. Sorry about that.
Hi, Brian. First of all, I just want to thank you because I've been so depressed since the Orange Jesus has got back in office. Again, I watch a lot of the committee meetings in the Senate, and for people to say, "Oh, the Democrats aren't doing anything," they need to watch how the Republicans are reacting. They are the ones that have confirmed the most unqualified idiots. They have totally denied anything that the Democrats say, even though there's evidence, there's proof. Mm-hmm. They just sit there and they give them softball questions. Mm-hmm. And again, they're the ones to blame. Yeah. They're the ones who are in this position right now.
Right.
And for anybody to sit there and try to, place the blame on Democrats. I'm not saying we're perfect, but again, open your eyes. Trump cannot say anything that is truthful. He can never take any kind of responsibility. Anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Listen, I mean, if at this point, if you still support Donald Trump, it doesn't mean you have to support Democrats. It doesn't mean you have to say, "Man, right. I should have voted for Kamala Harris." I'm right. making it very easy here. At this point, right now, today, heading into August of 2025, if you still support Donald Trump and you think he's doing a good job, then you are an idiot. Okay, you're an idiot.
Exactly.
I don't know what else to say. You're an idiot.
Yeah.
Now, there are all different forms of idiots. There are selfish idiots. There are stupid idiots. There are idiots that are ill-informed. There's all different levels of idiots. If you support Donald Trump now and you think he's doing a good job as president, you are an idiot.
Yeah. Another thing is Virginia Fox. She actually came out and said, I don't hold town hall meetings because I don't want to get yelled at. And I'm thinking, what does that tell you? If your constituents are yelling at you, maybe instead of, continuing to support Trump, maybe you start supporting
I want you to think about that for a second. Yeah. A Republican doesn't want to get yelled at, and that bothers her more than 15 million people that are going to lose their Medicaid coverage. That bothers her more than people that are going to lose their food stamps. That bothers her more than children that are getting gunned down in schools. That bothers her more than the guy who she supports who is a pedophile who is in the Epstein files. That goes to show you who these people are. They're cowards, they're despicable, they're phony, and they need to get the hell out of office.
Exactly. Anyway, thank you again,
thank you, my
Brian,
dear.
And I listen to you all the time.
Thank you.
Thank you because you've been making me feel better every time because I love the way you give it back.
Well, Roxanne, that means a lot. That means a lot to me, and I really do appreciate that. I'm very humbled by that. 702-221-7283 is the number to call. There's a guy in the YouTube Super Chat named Danny who probably is I'm probably giving him a little bit too much attention because he's probably a coward and he won't call in. And he said, Brian's brave enough to talk about this on the air, but he's not brave enough to do it in person. No, that's not true. I went to several Trump rallies. I spoke the same way to these people in person, and those videos are on my social media page as well. So you're absolutely wrong, and you have no idea what you're talking about. And this is the same idiot who's too scared to call into this radio show. What does that say about you, Danny? 702-221-7283 is the number to call. Let's go to Brett. Brett is next up on PTL. Hey, Brett, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from West Palm Beach. I'm actually probably, 50 yards from Mar-a-Lago right now.
Oh my God! But, I want to throw. I want to throw up. Oh, jeez.
I should make.
Did we lose you, Brett? I think we just lost Brett. Brett, we apologize about that. We hung up on you by accident. We'll get you back. We're having some issues with the phone lines. Brett, my sincere apologies. Please call back. I wanted to know about what it's like to be 50 feet from Mar-a-Lago. We'll get him to call back in. Sorry about that, Brett. Another accidental hang up. Let's go to Leon. Leon is next up on PTL. Hey, Leon, thanks for calling in. Where are you calling from, Leon? Hey, Leon, are you there?
Yes, Leon's here. How you doing?
Hey, I'm sorry, Leon. Where are you calling from again? Louisiana?
I'm calling from Ohio.
Oh, okay, Ohio. What's on your mind today?
I just wanted to say a couple of things. First off, I love Kamala Harris. I think she would have made a terrific, and sensational president for the United States. If she had been president, if she had made it to be president, then we would not be in any of the situations that we're in right now.
Yeah, I
I
agree.
think that-
I agree to an extent there for sure. I think she's a very nice lady. I think she's very educated, very intelligent. She didn't have enough time to campaign. Maybe there were better other candidates out there that might have been better, perhaps. But I have nothing against her. The people that I am frustrated with. Let's start with Joe Biden. He should have stepped aside earlier. Giving her 3 months to campaign was not long enough. Obviously, my frustration lies with anybody who voted for Donald Trump. But I think that Harris's campaign did not do a good job either. I don't blame Kamala Harris. She did everything she could. She didn't have enough time to campaign. Joe Biden should have stepped down sooner. I will always be disappointed in Joe Biden for doing that.
That's true, and I agree with you on those points also. Another thing that I want to say is, like you said, anybody that is supporting Donald Trump right now is an idiot. Don't make them what type of idiot they are. They're just an idiot. Because Donald Trump is a racist, and if you are supporting Donald Trump, you're supporting racism, and that is what you want to do. And
well, it's worse though. But sir, I agree with you. But it's worse than that. You not only support racism and bigotry, but now you support pedophilia.
Yes.
I mean, can you find a worse human being? You have a guy who's obviously a racist. I agree with you.
Yes.
You have a guy who is a pedophile. There was sex trafficking going on at Mar-a-Lago. He pretty much admitted it. I mean, why else would Jeffrey Epstein be recruiting these young girls, bringing them back to Epstein Island? Pedophile, adjudicated rapist, 34-count felon. I mean, can you find a worse human being now? Could you? I'm not sure you could.
No. I'm not trying to look for one that horrible. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's just, and another thing that I want to talk about, this Medicaid thing. Now, I am a recipient of Medicaid. I'm on Medicaid because I'm blind. I can't see. My son is on Medicaid. He's in my care, my custody.
Gotcha.
So he is on Medicaid. He's a young kid. So he's not able to go to work. He's not able to do anything for himself. But at that time, when it's time for him to get kicked off, because people say able-bodied people that are on Medicaid. What does that mean? You can't be an able-bodied American on Medicaid.
Listen,
because you're either on Medicaid because you have to either have a disability or you're taking care of a kid.
It's a lie. Let me give you a statistic
know.
here. Let me give you a statistic
know.
here. First of all, for all the people that are lucky enough to have a job in this country, and under the Donald Trump administration, there's a lot of people that don't. If you have a job in the United States of America, are you aware, sir, that 30% of those people are not even offered health care? And if they are, about 49% of them can't afford it. So when you hear one of these MAGA buffoons that say, oh, able-bodied, they are such lying scumbags. They are
That's
such
my
liars.
biggest problem. I don't know what that means. Able-bodied person on Medicaid. First off,
is Donald Trump able-bodied? That obese, pathetic piece of a human being?
With those ankles.
If there's anybody that's not able-bodied, it's Donald Trump. So I mean, if you're going to use the term able-bodied, Donald Trump would probably be on the bottom of the list.
Them cankles are something else, man.
They really are, man. They really are. My friend, I wish you and your son well. I hope you guys are okay, and I hope you get the health care that you truly deserve, my friend, and I wish you and your son the best.
I got it right now, and I'm going to keep it until I can't get it no more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I understand.
watch you all the time, man, and I'm going to tell you something. You are 100% right. I'm going to continue to support you.
Thank you, my friend.
Get those MAGA buffoons off the air as quick as possible. You understand me?
I will do that. I will do that.
And you keep on pushing forward, Brian.
Thank you, my friend. And you know what? I'm honored, as I say this all the time, good, hardworking, good, decent people like yourself being a fan of this show and supporting what I do. It truly means the world to me, and I'm very humbled by it. So thank you, and the best regards to you and your son. You guys deserve the health care that you need, and these right-wing MAGA morons that lie to us every day, able-bodied. Yeah, Donald Trump is really able-bodied, isn't he? The able-bodied pedophile is what he is, the adjudicated rapist. 702-221-7283 is the number to call. Frankie is next up on PTL. Hey, Frankie, where are you calling from?
North Carolina.
What's up, Frankie?
Well, I wanted to share a couple of wacky Trump things, but given all the heavy stuff going on, I wonder if I should.
Well, it's up to you, my friend. Go ahead. Have at it.
Okay. Did you see South Park last night?
I did not. You know, I've seen some clips of South Park, and I love. Who's the creator of South Park? Why am I? Yeah, Matt and Trey
Parker
Stone.
and
Yeah.
Matt Stone.
They're phenomenal. They're phenomenal people, and certainly they are anti-Donald Trump. I think that's very fair to say.
Yes, and I think it's kind of funny that him and Satan are a couple.
Yeah, yeah. Seth MacFarlane, who is he? He's the creator of South Park.
Family Guy.
Family Guy. I'm sorry, Family Guy. Yeah, I love Seth MacFarlane as well. He's awesome. I love those guys. They're great.
Okay, and the second thing that's a little bit wacky is do an image search on Pokemon and put the one called Gumshoes.
I will do that, and then I will get back to you on that, my friend. I do appreciate your phone call. Thank you very much. 702-221-7283, the number to call if you want to be a part of the conversation. Let's go to Phil. Phil is next up on PTL. Hey, Phil, where are you calling from?
Binghamton, New York.
New York. All right. Thanks for calling in, my friend. What's on your mind?
I have a question for you, Brian.
Okay.
When Trump was running for president, I'm wondering why they did not release the Epstein files, the Democrats.
I have a theory.
I mean, they had a perfect opportunity. If you could explain to the audience.
I have a theory. I think there are a lot of prominent people on both sides of the aisle that are in those files. A lot of people with a lot of money.
Agree.
A lot of people with a lot of money. And if you release the Epstein files, you can't just release partial and say, hey, Donald Trump's in there. Because there's a lot of people that know what's in those files. So that's my theory. Listen, sir, I don't know that for sure. I'm giving you my opinion. I think there are people on both sides. It wouldn't surprise me if Bill Clinton was in there as well. I'm sure you agree with me, the attitude by most Democrats today, which is release the files. It doesn't matter who's in the files. Release them because the victims deserve justice. And that's how I feel.
Well, he's going to be implicated. You know that.
Eventually.
If we ever see the files.
Eventually, yes. Eventually.
Right.
But it's not soon enough.
Oh, one more thing.
Yeah.
I've got an answer. I've got a couple of ideas for gun control.
Okay. Let's hear them.
Okay?
Yep.
Number one, thoughts. And number two, prayers.
Yeah, that's all they say, right? That's all they say. Thoughts and prayers, thoughts and prayers. Now's not the time to talk about gun control. Now's not the time to make it political. We could have a bunch of children that die in a school, but yet thoughts and prayers, thoughts and prayers, thoughts and prayers, thoughts and prayers. These MAGA buffoons have no heart. They have no empathy. They only care about themselves. Reminder, we're also in the YouTube Super Chat where your questions and comments will be heard in the YouTube Super Chat. We'll get to that in a moment. We're going to take a few more phone calls first. 702-221-7283. Let's go to Kim. Hi, Kim. Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian. It's Kim from West Virginia.
West Virginia.
Hey,
gotcha.
Yeah. Hey, do you think that I'm beginning to think that everyone that surrounds Trump, like Dr. Oz and all of them, I think they all get in a room before they have a meeting together or get out there and get on TV and all this stuff they're going, this lies they tell us. I think they've got a gas. They all take and they sniff or something, but they're all say the same things. But did you see Trump yesterday, where he couldn't stay awake when Dr. Oz was talking, and then Kennedy?
I did.
Sleep the whole time. I mean, my God, it's
embarrassing.
It's getting worse and worse.
It is. I think his mental health is getting worse and worse. I think his supporters are getting even more cultish. And, you know, it's interesting because all these people, my dear, and so many of them still support this guy, you know, even after all this Epstein stuff. Can you imagine? I want you to think about this for a moment, and you guys could tell me if you think I'm off base here. If we learned through the Wall Street Journal or another entity that Bill Clinton was in the Epstein files during his administration, and Bill Clinton was doing everything he could to hide it, I don't think Democrats would be reacting the same way that Republicans are reacting as a whole. I think a lot of the Democrats would want to know the truth, and they would want him to be exposed if that was the truth. And don't talk to me about oral pleasure and cheating on your wife, because there is a fine line between doing that and Donald Trump being in the Epstein files. But I don't think Democrats would handle it the same way as Republicans. With that being said, I wish Joe Biden released the files. I think that there are people on both sides of the aisle that are in the Epstein files, and one of those people, 100%, is our president right now, Donald Trump. 702-221-7283 is the number to call. Let's go to Adrian. Adrian is calling in next. Hi, Adrian. Thanks for calling in. Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian. How's it going?
Good. Where are you calling from, Adrian?
I'm calling from Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Louisiana. Good barbecue out there. What's on your mind today, Adrian?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Man, I just want to make it real quick. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for sticking up for truth, common sense, and just really calling out these idiots. I love what you do. I'm hooked on what you do, man. I love the TFS comment you make to forget the guy's name on the Pierce Morgan show. I laughed at it.
Hold on. I've said that,
man.
Adrian. I appreciate. By the way, I've said that to a few people. I did say that Roger Stone had Trump fellatio syndrome, which was fun. I said that Jack Posobiec has Trump fellatio syndrome, and who's the black dude I had on?
I forget his name.
Why am I forgetting his name for whatever reason? Brandon Tatum. He said I had Trump derangement syndrome, and then I said he had Trump fellatio syndrome. It's interesting. He didn't say I had Trump derangement syndrome again, so I thought that was interesting.
Right. I mean, what else can you say to that comment, bro? But
it's true, though. It's true. They are performing verbal fellatio on Donald Trump every day so that they can make money.
Right.
They are performing verbal fellatio on Mushroom Man, who has 8 layers of orange makeup and wears a girdle every day. That's what they do.
Right.
Laura Loomer is on her knees 24/7.
100%.
I'm sorry. I just got to say that's what's going on here. And these right-wing conservative talk show hosts, I'm not even going to name any of them in Las Vegas because they have 4 listeners. But some of the national hosts, like the Mark Levins, who listens to Mark Levin anymore? And Sean Hannity, Laura Ingraham, Clay Travis. These are some of the most despicable people in this country. I'm telling you that right. I wish somebody would deport Sean Hannity, Laura Ingraham, Mark Levin, and Clay Travis, put them all in a 4x4 cell, give them 1 meal a day, and have them listen to Lady Gaga 24/7. I'm praying to Jesus Christ right now, to my evangelical right-wing friends. I'm praying to Jesus. Jesus, I hope you're listening to me, or God. And by that, I don't mean the orange orangutan. I'm actually speaking to God right now. God, I am praying to you right now. Can we get every right-wing nut that's on the air right now that does a radio show, Sean Hannity, Mark Levin, round them all up, put them on a plane and give them a Ron DeSantis brochure. I'll make the brochure. And then I would like you to put them all in a cell, maybe Guantanamo. Well, no, let's go Alligator Alcatraz. And they have several choices, okay? They all have to eat vegan food every day, okay? They have to stare at a picture of Ocasio-Cortez every day, which, by the way, would be something that I wouldn't mind doing. But we know Sean Hannity and Mark Levin wouldn't want that. So they have to do that. And you know what? Since they love Jason Aldean so much, let them listen to Try That in a Small Town 24/7 every day for the rest of their lives, and let them die in prison. That's what I wish. Right. I'm not wishing that they die. I'm just wishing that it happens when they're in prison. That's all. Jesus, I'm praying to you right now, okay? Jesus, Lord and Savior. Oh, wait, hold on. I missed one person. Put Charlie Kirk and Candace Owens in there, too.
Yes.
Put Steve Bannon in there as well. Rudy Giuliani won't last very long, but you can put him in there. Put them all in there, ladies and gentlemen. And these idiots on Fox News and OAN and Newsmax and Matt Gaetz and Mike Johnson, all these pieces of human scum. I'm serious. Give them a Brian Shapiro brochure, and I will promise them great food at a resort somewhere, and then put them in a cell in I don't know, Alligator Alcatraz, and have them listen to, I'll give them the choice, either Jason Aldean, that song, or Lady Gaga, Poker Face, 24/7. That's what I'm praying for. That's my goal.
For sure, Brian. Keep it up, buddy.
All right, thanks. God, I hope you're listening to me. That's what I pray for. That's what I'm praying for today. To my evangelical friends on the right, we'll see if God is listening to me. 702-221-7283 is the number to call. Let's go to Pat. Pat, where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian. I'm still here in Maryland.
What's up, Pat? What's on your mind today?
Well, the guy that called in from Mar-a-Lago, I hope he didn't run into Trump's trash out there and run into all those Depends in the trash can. Maybe that's what got him.
Yeah, he might have. I hope not.
But anyways, Charlie Kirk. I heard him on the TV not about a week ago, and he's telling at some college telling all these young girls, "Oh, don't worry about you all are here to just meet your man, so you don't worry about getting degrees. Just learn how to be a wife and all that." I cannot stand Charlie Kirk.
Well, that's why I'm on the Un-F America tour, which is fighting Charlie Kirk and Turning Point USA, and the founder, Z, is going to be joining us in studio tomorrow. They have, I've graciously accepted their invitation. I am a part of the Un-F America tour. I will be in Phoenix in December with Destiny, who's a big left-leaning podcaster, and I'm looking forward to meeting him.
Wonderful.
And Robbie Roadsteamer. They got some nice names, and I'm looking forward to that. Charlie Kirk is a racist.
He's telling these girls, you're not here to worry about getting education and to better yourself. You're here to find a man so you can go home and learn. I mean, you can go home and cook and learn how to be a good wife.
Listen, I don't mean to
tell these young girls.
I don't mean to talk down onto somebody's looks because I don't want to stoop down to Donald Trump's level, but I will say this. If there's anybody in this country that needs plastic surgery, it's Charlie Kirk.
Yes, his big, round, fat head.
He is a disgusting human being inside and out. How does his wife lay underneath him? I wonder how that works.
How do these colleges allow him to come there and talk to these girls to say that stuff?
Because all he cares about is money. And for the people out there that say, oh, he doesn't mean this, he doesn't mean that. For these people, it's okay to be racist and misogynistic as long as they're making a lot of money. It's the way they are.
Right. I said, but the colleges, they shouldn't even allow him to come there to say that stuff to these girls. They're there to get education so they can better themselves. That's not a goal for them in college to be worrying about getting married.
Hey, listen, I'm not trying to attack these women, okay? But someone said on my YouTube page, Charlie Kirk is married. Yes. Can you imagine being married?
Oh, God.
Okay, I'm going to name you three men. I'm going to name you three men right now. If you had to have relations with one of them, who would it be? I'm going to name you three. Okay, you ready for this? Charlie Kirk, Ben Shapiro, or Stephen Miller. Who would it be?
I'm staying single.
That's a really good answer, by the way. I think it's the only answer.
No, you know what? Stephen Miller is another ugly man to me.
Inside and out.
Who was the guy that they just put on? They just approved him to be some type of judge. He's ugly. I can't remember his name.
Yeah, well, they're ugly on the inside and out. There's certainly no question about that. And that's why they love their AR-15s, and they love telling other people they attack transgenders, they attack homosexuals because they're insecure with themselves.
Trump is ugly, and everybody on his administration this time is ugly.
Yeah. Well, you don't have to
keep doing what you're doing.
I'm sorry, I gave you three really bad choices in there. I apologize.
Yes, you did. That's no way in the world.
Sorry, it's a good answer.
Thank you.
It's the only
thank you.
Thank you. It's the only appropriate answer. I appreciate the call. She was great. 702-221-7283. Let's go to CJ. CJ is next up on PTL. Hey, CJ, where are you calling from?
L.A. Yesterday you hung up on me before I could finish what I was saying, but it was about an asteroid. Let me go ahead and get to the point. That asteroid was named in honor of a brilliant high school student named Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez because of how well she did in an international science fair. So far as I know, she's the only person in American politics who has an asteroid named after how smart she is. So anybody on the right who says she's dumb or low IQ or whatever, tell us what your asteroid number is.
Well, yeah, my apologies for hanging up on you. But yeah, I will say this about Ocasio-Cortez. I don't always agree with her. She's a very intelligent woman. She's beautiful, she's smart, she's educated, and she's hardworking. And those are, I don't know, to me, those are great qualities. Those are all great qualities to have. And I have a lot of respect for Ocasio-Cortez. But let's be honest. If you're an attractive woman that is brown in this country, MAGA Republicans are very scared of you. Let's just call it out for what it is, my friend. Hey, I appreciate your call, CJ.
Okay, real quick on something else.
Yes, go ahead.
All right, you said that Biden should have dropped out earlier.
Yes.
I disagree.
Why?
I think he shouldn't have been in the race at all. He said he was going to be a one-term president and step aside for the next generation for the 2024 election, and he should have stuck with that.
Yeah.
Sat out the primaries and back to whoever the nominee was.
CJ, I agree with you, but when I say he should have stepped down earlier, he should have said something publicly a year before. That's what I mean when I say I agree with you, obviously. He did say he was going to be a one-term president. I truly believe that is the main reason why Kamala Harris lost. I really believe that. There are a lot of other reasons. I'm not
that,
saying.
and also the other two things you just said in regards to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, namely she's got 2 X chromosomes, and she's she's not fully white.
Yeah. Listen, I'm an Ocasio-Cortez fan for a lot of different reasons. I really like her a lot, and I do believe that she's, again, rising star in the Republican Party, and it's why Donald Trump keeps talking about her. You notice how Donald Trump keeps speaking trash about Jasmine Crockett and AOC? Always colored women that Donald Trump keeps attacking. Geez, I wonder why that is. I'm sure that has nothing to do with their skin color, right? I'm sure when he put out that page in the New York Times about the Central Park 5, right, I'm sure it had nothing to do with their skin color either. You frickin' buffoons out there, you right-wing idiots, you turds. Let's see. Let's go to Terry. Terry's calling next. Hey, Terry, where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, I'm calling from Maryland. I just wanted to talk a little bit about, just the constant blatant hypocrisy that goes on with the Republicans. I was sitting here making a list of people that the Democrats did not support when they had issues with, let me think, Al Franken. They insisted that he resign when he was a senator in Minnesota for he had sexual allegations brought against him. They did not support him. They said, you need to go. Bob Menendez, convicted. He should have been convicted because of the way that he was taking money and gifts and things like that.
Right.
But the Republicans always continue to support their bad, awful people.
You're right about that.
I don't get it.
You're right about that. I completely 100% agree with you. You're 100% correct. And you brought up an interesting point because, if it's a Democrat, like let's just talk about Anthony Weiner for a moment, who, by the way, has done this show a couple times. And obviously I don't condone his behavior. But do you remember? I mean, they wanted to put Anthony Weiner in jail for the rest of his life.
Right.
But yet, when it comes to Donald Trump, who clearly is in the Epstein files, when it comes to Donald Trump, who bragged about sexual assault, when it comes to Donald Trump, who bragged about going into teenage locker rooms, they don't seem to have a problem with that, do they?
No, they do not. They just support anybody that walks off the street. It's just unbelievable.
It is, my dear, and I'm glad. Oh, listen, all we can do with intelligent listeners of PTL like yourself is to continue to call it out every day. Let's see what happens in the midterms, my dear, but I do appreciate your call, and we have to call out this hypocrisy. So, it wouldn't be a show without the MAGA Destroyer. It certainly wouldn't be a show without the MAGA Destroyer. Let's go to Darlene. Hey, Darlene, what's going on?
Oh, my God, Brian. I'm so glad to talk to you today because I didn't make it a few days ago. I got hung up on. But first of all, Brian, I want to say something nice first.
Okay.
First of all, Brian, I love you. And I want to give a shout out to the Brian from Texas that said he always had my back. I love you, Brian. And as of right now, Brian in Texas, I want you to be my brother. You're going to be the MAGA brother, and I'm going to be the MAGA, not MAGA, I mean MAGA haters, destroyers, whatever.
I like
so
that.
I have adopted you. And another thing, I wanted to welcome Numchuck back and send my love to him and all of y'all.
He was a little sick,
now,
but he's doing better now. It's good to have him back. Yes.
Thank God.
Yes.
Brian, I'm so glad that Danny said that to you because let me tell you something. This is so funny. I was watching just a couple days ago, and Danny is just bad-mouthing me all through the chat. But he's not man enough to get on the phone and talk to me just like he's accusing you of, like you're hiding behind the keyboard. This dude's hiding behind the keyboard. And I got news for you, Danny. Come on Brian's show right now. Come and talk to me if you think you're man enough because you ain't crap.
You got to love Darlene's fire, right? You got to love it. Darlene, I love you too.
Brian,
yes.
Oh, Brian, but wait, Brian. I wish I had 10 hours to talk. All of you out there listen to this. Do you want me to talk about how Trump accused Oprah Winfrey and Beyonce and Al Sharpton of stealing money from the Democrats? Or do I want to talk about Charlie Kirk saying that those kids over there starving, it's all fake? I called him out. Or do I call, let's see, who else? But these MAGA people, let me give you a message to, the ICE people. I just watched the Midas Touch video. Let me tell you something, ICE. You don't need to fear Trump. You need to fear God. Because I'm telling you right now, I watched it, Brian. They were throwing ladies down to. They threw a lady down to the ground and said, "You shouldn't be twerking." She was like bent down, and they were just protesting. They weren't doing nothing wrong. They were manhandling these women like they were men. And I saw it just a while ago, and then I see these kids over there in where is it? Gaza,
Yeah.
starving.
Yeah, it's terrible.
I told Charlie Kirk, I'm going to take your food away from you, and let's see how long you live.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, Brian.
No,
I am
don't
so
apologize.
wound up.
Don't apologize. I'm with you, my dear. Darlene, you're the best. I love you too, and we love you here on PTL, and I love your passion. I really do. God, I gotta get Darlene on the air with like one of these MAGA idiots that call into this show. That'd be fun, and I'll just be quiet. I'll just sit here and laugh because she would absolutely destroy them. 702-221-7283. Let's go to Michael. Michael is next up on PTL. Hey, Michael, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Augusta, Georgia.
Georgia. Thanks for calling in, Michael. What's on your mind?
I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. I just I'm just think we really need to start thinking about our next president, and my pick is Tim Walz because he's not afraid to get down in the ditches and fight with them.
All right, so Michael, I'm gonna respectfully disagree with you. I like Tim Walz.
Well, that's fine. Respectfully disagreeing is healthy.
Well, no, that's good. Listen, I don't think Tim Walz is a bad guy. Maybe he would be a good president. I just think there are better candidates out there. That's all, Michael.
Yeah. Well, as time goes by, we might come to an agreement.
What do you like about Tim Walz? Tell me what you like about him.
Well, they told him to tone it down when he was campaigning with Kamala Harris, when he was calling him weirdo and all that other stuff, and I've seen the way he runs his state, and I just have a visceral liking for him. That's about it.
Well, I think he's a good guy. I listen. I've never said anything personally bad about the guy. I think he's a good man. You know, a football coach, teacher, served the country. He's got some great attributes. I just think there are other, and I appreciate the call, Michael. I just think there are other people out there that would be better candidates. But I like him. I'm not saying I don't like him. Thank you, Tony, in the YouTube Super Chat, who says, keep the good work up, teaching MAGA facts. Thank you, Tony. I thought that Josh Shapiro would have been a better VP for Kamala Harris. I'm not saying that would have put her over the top and she would have won. But I have nothing negative to say about Tim Walz. I will say that I don't think he did a great job in the debate against J.D. Vance. I didn't see anything in that debate that I thought was great. Lori on the YouTube Super Chat says, Brian, my cousin and I went out for breakfast yesterday, and she noticed that they charged temporary inflation on the bill. It will continue to go up. Unfortunately, Lori, I think you're right about that. 702-221-7283 is the number to call. Matthew is next up on PTL. Hey, Matthew, where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian. Hey, other sir. My name is Matthew Manning. I'm calling in from Crystal City, Missouri.
Gotcha.
And Brian, I just want to say thank you, man. I just recently started following your show, and I love your energy and your passion when it comes to MAGA Republicans, because there's a few of these podcasters that doesn't go push the limits like you do. So
well, that means a lot.
Say,
I appreciate that. There's a lot of smart people out there that I have a lot of respect for. I just have a different style. I just don't put up with any BS, you know, and if people are going to, go the route of lying and being disrespectful, then I'll give it back to them 10 times harder. But I'm not going to lie to them. I'm just going to tell them who they are. And many of these people are ill-informed idiots. You know, that's just who they are.
Absolutely. Being born during the 70s, of course, I'm not afraid that I'm a liberal Democrat, even though we're coming from Missouri, which is a red state. But the one thing that I noticed about the Republican Party from the Reagan era all the way up until now is before Donald Trump got in there, they was really extreme, or they welcomed the extreme and the violence once Donald Trump got in there. But I'm just really angry that the fact that if it was President Biden or if it was President Obama or anybody from the left, if they were engaged in these, now that we know, which has always been true, that he's an adjudicated child molester pedophile.
Correct.
And I just don't like the fact that the Republican Party they're just standing back. they let him go throughout with the Russia investigation, which we know that happened because I read the Mueller report.
Yeah, there was Russian interference. They continue to lie about that. It was proven by Republicans and Democrats that there was some collusion involved. Now, did it change the outcome of the election? Probably not. Was there collusion? I didn't see any direct evidence of that, but we know who Vladimir Putin and Russia wanted to win, and it's Donald Trump. And there was collusion online on social media platforms. It was proven.
This is the first time in my lifetime that I've actually seen the American people, half of the American people, as definitely with all the Republicans, that has adopted and adapted to the propaganda and the bullshit that the Russians are perpetuating with the American media. Because the night of the election, when Vice President Harris, when she lost, I voted for Vice President Harris. After that happened, I'd happened to look on Russian TV, which I can't believe that the American media is not talking about this, that they actually had Melania Trump's nude photos up there. And basically there was a message after that saying that you owe us. And we all are fully aware that Donald Trump is no longer prohibited from doing any type of business in New York. But some of my friends and colleagues had asked, well, where did he get his money from? Well, he got it from the Russians, and the Russians had something on him. That's why they call him a compromise. Yeah. But I just don't like the fact that with all these tariffs, it seems like that the racism is just at an all-time high. People out there struggling and everything. And the Republican Party is something that I just feel like they're just unbeknownst of what's really going on. And you guys want to go to recess right now because y'all want to keep the Epstein files from coming out, but he doesn't want those files to come out because he's all over those.
Well, it's pretty obvious, right? I appreciate the call, my friend, and you're 150% correct. That's exactly why he doesn't want the files to come out. And good to hear from you, and I appreciate your call. Shelly in the YouTube Super Chat says, I'm trying to get Danny to call in. I guess he's just scared of you or your nickname, Chubb. I haven't heard that in a little bit, but yeah, that has been my nickname in the past. 70, thank you, Shelly, for your donation. We appreciate you. Yes, a lovely lady did give me that nickname not that long ago. I guess it's a good nickname to have. I guess it's not a bad nickname to have, I would assume, right? Not a terrible thing. Number to call, 702-221-7283. Kathy, thank you for your donation. Says, sorry, but you can't have Josh Shapiro. We have him in PA, especially since Extreme MAGA TFS lover Mastriano is looking to run against him again. That guy out MAGA's MAGA. So, Kathy, I agree with you, and I understand he's a great governor, and I think he's awesome. I just think one day he will be a great president, and I'm not saying necessarily 2028 is going to be his time, but we need somebody that's going to be able to step up to the plate, and I think he could be that guy. All right, who are we going to next here? Let's go to Terry. Terry's calling in next. Hi, Terry. Where are you calling from?
Hey, my southern neighbor. I'm calling up here from God's country in Idaho.
Idaho. All right. Well, thanks for calling in from Idaho. What's on your mind today?
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm up here in MAGA country. But with that being said, I am a Republican. I have been a registered Republican since 1980.
Who did you vote for this last election?
Dude, I have been against Trump since the 1970s. Well, look back to what he did with Polish iron workers when he brought them in. He didn't want to hire the American union workers to work on his buildings.
Well, you sound like a reasonable Republican who can separate fact from fiction, and you understand who the man is, which I respect very much. I wish there were more Republicans like you.
Well, I'm a little bit older, and I don't know. It was the 70s what turned me off on Trump.
Can I ask you a question, my friend? Because you seem to catch on to Trump far more than and far earlier than a lot of people, even myself included. Why is it you think that there are so many, being a Republican for as long as you have for 50 plus years, why are there so many Republicans that continue to support this guy? Why? Tell me why.
Con jobs. He's like the mafia. Everybody wants to be like the Don. Everybody wants to be the Don, the king leader. Mm-hmm. And that's what he comes off as. And they want to kiss the ring of the mafia boss. They want to be a part of that mafia. They want to have the power that mafia has.
Right.
I think that's a lot of them. Unfortunately, I got a lot of family members, children included. They just love Trump.
Can I ask you another question, though? If another MAGA Republican runs for office, let's just say hypothetically speaking, a J.D. Vance, is there any chance that you would either change to an independent or a Democrat?
I'll stay Republican. I just won't vote for him.
I understand. Okay, I respect that. Yep. Did you vote for? Did you vote for Kamala Harris?
Yes, I did.
Wow,
yes, I did.
I give you a lot of credit for that.
I put her sticker in my window, one of her placards in my window.
Mm-hmm. I give you a ton of credit because you're a Republican, you're a staunch Republican, but you are not willing to vote for a despicable human being. And even though I'm sure you probably disagree with Kamala Harris on some policy issues, you were still where you had the moral compass, for lack of a better term, to vote for her, knowing her opponent. And I really respect that about you, sir. I really do.
Okay, one quick thing before we got to go. I know you're short.
Sure.
So, I blame Joe Biden for the mess we're in.
Mm-hmm.
Go back now. I've never lost a child. I understand he was grieving. If he would have ran in 2016, he would have won, and we would not have had Donald Trump to begin with.
Maybe, very possible.
And in 2020, the Republican would have stepped up. Other than Donald Trump.
I don't disagree with you. It's a very interesting theory that you bring up there. And if Joe Biden ran in 2016, probably would have defeated Donald Trump. Hillary was unable to get the job done. But I don't disagree with you, my friend, and I appreciate who you voted for, even though you're a Republican. And I think that says a lot about you, and that's a good thing. Let's go to Mike. Mike is next. Mike, where are you calling from?
Brian, I'm calling from Connecticut. How are you?
Hey, Mike, that is my... that's where I grew up in Connecticut, believe it or not.
I heard you say that yesterday.
Yep.
So I was a little surprised. I just want to make a quick comment. During the show today, you guys are saying that Biden should have dropped out sooner. I agree with you on that. And then I guess the inference is that she didn't have enough time to put a full campaign together. I just want to say this, that, she killed him in the debate. She made him look like garbage.
Oh, I'm not blaming her. I agree. She did a good job in the debate. I completely agree with you. But you would agree with me that she needed more time.
Yes, but I honestly think she won. I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist, but when you hear these stories about the voting patterns at some of the voting machines that are being investigated.
I don't go down that path, my friend. And the reason why I don't do that is because nobody's shown me actual real proof, and nothing's been proven in a court of law. And I think if there was any chance that did happen, I think we would have probably seen something like that by now. And I don't want to sound like these MAGA Republicans that say Trump still won in 2020. I just don't want to do that. That's now listen. If Elon Musk didn't support Donald Trump back then, and I'll never forgive him for that, Donald Trump probably doesn't win. I'll say that.
I agree with you on that. I just find it amazing that statistically he won by like 1% in every swing state. He said that the statistical odds of that happening are extremely rare.
Yeah.
And so that just makes me feel that something was going on.
Listen, right. I hear you, my friend. I just don't go down that path because I haven't seen any direct evidence. I understand you're frustrated, but I think you'd be better off focusing on the future, not the past. Enrique is next up on PTL. Hey, Enrique, where are you calling from? Enrique?
Yeah.
Yes, where are you calling from, sir?
I'm calling from Brooklyn, New York.
What's on your mind today, my friend?
Hey, Enrique, where are you calling from? I'm calling from Brooklyn, New York.
Okay. You got to lower your radio, my friend, because we have a little... Enrique, I'm sorry, I got to let you go. You got to lower your radio when you call into a radio show. Let's go to John. John, I got about 30 seconds for you, my friend. Where are you calling from?
Hi, I'm calling from Washington.
Hi. Thanks, John. What's on your mind?
Terry from Idaho?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Pretty bold. But I'm a Republican. I've been a Republican since 1982.
Okay.
And I just wanted to let you know that not all Republicans are MAGA.
So, John, I know that.
Okay.
Right? I know
yes.
that. You know I know that.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, good.
And I totally agree with him, and I do blame Biden. I really do. I agree with a lot of what he says.
Yep.
But let me ask you a simple question.
Okay, quickly.
Who are we going to vote for in 2028?
Well, how can I say that if I don't know who's running?
I know, exactly. And my thought, and this is who I would vote for, because I know you put up Governor Newsom.
Yep.
I was thinking Mark Milley, because if nothing else, it'll scare the
I'd vote for him.
hell out of
I'd vote
him.
for him. I absolutely would, my friend. I would absolutely. I would. I'm with you 100%. Josh Shapiro, Governor of Maryland, I think is somebody that I would certainly support as well. Obviously, I would support Gavin Newsom over just about any MAGA Republican out there as well. But, we got some time, but I think the midterms are next, and I think the midterms is where I think that's where we need to focus on right now. All right, so tomorrow on the show, Z is going to be joining us, and she is the founder of the Un-F America Tour. So I know that is going to be a ton of fun to have her on the program. I can't wait for that. And she calls herself on social media Camp Callout. She's also known as Mercedes, a very popular left-wing social influencer. She's going to be joining us on the show tomorrow. This is an independently run show. We appreciate your donations. PushingTheLimits.live, where you can make monthly donations. PushingTheLimits.live. Thanks for joining us, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day.
Hey, everybody. Are you struggling to find